Can't believe it is almost May. So you know what time it is. This is everything that we're planting, and we're not gonna add in harvesting because for the time being, we're still planting, but it's gonna be slower. So we're gonna add in harvesting too, so that you guys can kind of get used to how we turn our gardens over and get them from one season to the next to the next. So I wanna incorporate that as well. So this is May. I've been showing this head of broccoli repeatedly, but I just want to show you what a night of rain will do. This thing is absolutely massive, man. And it's just about to start bolting. I think I'm going to leave it another day just to see if I can get it any bigger, and then we are going to enjoy it. Bring that up because this bed needs to be planted stat. Stat means now. So shout out to all the people that know where that's from. We wanted to put our tomatoes and peppers in there, and we do plant our tomatoes and peppers in April, but right around the 1st of May, we're going to get our second, I don't want to really call it our second planting, it's our delayed planting. So we did peppers and tomatoes in this bed, and we were going to put them in this bed, but because last year I had sweet potatoes in this bed, we're going to put them in here because it's almost clear and it's almost ready, and that way we can let this one finish out. So right around May 1st, we'll do that, maybe a little bit before, but it's either way, it doesn't matter. We're going to get them up and running. I'm tired of taking care of the plants and pots. It's time to get them in the ground. Been a busy little bee, and I've been doing a lot of weeding and preparing beds. This bed is all weeded for the most part. There's a little patch in here I need to get, but this one over here, we haven't even been taking care of this bed. It's just whatever, but we're going to go ahead and we are going to put melons in this bed. So up along this row here, we're going to go ahead and put our cantaloupes along this edge, and we're just going to let them grow over here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to come in, I'm going to scalp this really hard, and I'll keep it cut as low as possible, so when they grow over, the weeds won't necessarily take it over. But the weeds aren't necessarily a bad thing because it'll help shade the fruits and stuff like that. So we're going to do that along here, and I'm almost 90% sure we're going to put our watermelons along here, and I actually may put my watermelons in the middle and try and contain them in here as much as possible, and then we'll have them trail out if we need be. And also in preparation, I'm going to replace this trellis that fell down in the storm. So we're going to do that, and I should, right around the 15th of May, I'm thinking I'm going to put, no, immediately, I'm going to put cucumbers here. So if you're new to the channel, last year and the year before, we had mosaic virus on this bed right here. So I removed the trellis completely. So we're down a trellis, and then I removed the arch from over here. I'll just take you, I don't know why I'm trying to point. I removed this arch to kind of readjust a little bit and moved it up front. So we're down a trellis and a half right now, but I think it's going to be okay. For some reason, I've come to realize I really like trellising plants. So we just got to work through it. If I need to put another trellis somewhere, I may get creative, and this would be the month and where I do it. At this point, most of your garden projects should be done, and then it's just time to grow and enjoy. So we'll see how that works, but I'm not totally sure that's going to happen the way I want it to. This bed right here, we are going to put Seminole pumpkin on this half of the trellis, and then we're also going to put probably a butternut squash or a honey nut squash on this side of the trellis. And the goal is to grow them up and then train them up and down and over, and then once they fill all that up, once they get to the middle, we'll pull it up and then just let it go out and over if need be. So we're going to see how that works. I imagine that we are going to be putting a stress test on this trellis here. I imagine this is going to bend, but we'll cross that bridge and we'll reinforce it where we need to. So we're going to weed that really good. And then this one right here, this is all of our rutabagas. They will be harvested in the beginning of May. And then I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to plant here. I may put a couple ochres in. I may put some cover crop in of some sort. I'm kind of leaning towards a cover crop at this point, just to kind of give most of the bed a rest. This trellis didn't do great last year, so we kind of want to give it a rest, and we've been using, this bed gets a lot of sun in the winter, so this is a good bed for us to focus on to grow in the fall and winter, and if we have to, we'll let it rest now. A quick cover crop will do wonders for it though, so we'll grow buckwheat in it, and then we'll chop it and drop it and till it in, and then it can just refeed the soil. Now, right around the 15th of May, so 15th of May is like a big goal for our garden. So this garden bed right here, the broccoli and cabbage bed, should be done. As a matter of fact, by the 15th of May, it's going to be done. With all the changes we're making with these two beds here, what we're going to do is we're going to plant our corn in this bed. So if you look at it, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 broccolis will be done within the next 2 weeks. That'll just leave us a handful. They can be done at any time. The only real holdup here is going to be these cabbages, and we're going to give them a shot of nitrogen and get them going. And I'm also going to harvest this sprouting broccoli and remove it completely from the garden, and that way this will get plenty of sun and be able to go and just continue to grow, and hopefully we can finish this out. And it looks like, actually, you can see the sun makes a big difference. This head of cabbage is almost done, so within 2 weeks we should be pretty well done in this bed, and that'll give us enough time. That means on the 1st of May, we are going to restart our corn because we were delayed. They grew too fast, so we're going to restart them in pots outside, or maybe even in the greenhouse. That's warm enough now, it doesn't really matter. By the way, I'm in coastal North Carolina. Right now, it is 10 o'clock in the morning, and it is 73 degrees. We're looking to be in the 80s and then back in the 70s during the day, high 70s. So we're going to use that to our advantage. And at this point, if there's anything else that needs to be started, we can go ahead and start it outside and not have to bring it back inside. So we are close to getting our peas. I'm not sure how long I'm gonna let these guys grow for. This side is doing really well. It's a little bit delayed because of the construction of the beds and stuff like that. So I'm not really doing much. We do, in fact, I just noticed, we are getting our first peas. So we will be getting those snow peas. And then around, I may let this run a little bit longer to see how much we get, but somewhere between the middle of May and the end of May, we're gonna put our black-eyed peas on this trellis. This one didn't take, which is okay, so we'll probably do this one first. But then around the middle of May too, the middle of May is a big time for us. We're gonna put our sweet potatoes in these 2 beds. So we do have a little bit of an issue though. Got these beautiful, beautiful cabbage plants here, but they are just taking their time, man. We are just starting to get ahead on these cabbages, so we may be okay, we may not, I don't really know. I'm gonna run it as long as possible, but I cannot delay our sweet potatoes. So we're gonna run those. They're going in no matter what around the middle of May. These are just here for shading. They can be cut at any time. You can see I've already been cutting a few. I need to take those back to the chickens. And then same thing here. Yeah, we're starting to head up here. So I don't know how much of this we're gonna get a harvest off of. I did expect this from this variety though. This is a flat Dutch variety cabbage, and it's known to give nice size heads of cabbage, but it's also known to be a slow grower. And it is absolutely living up to its name as being a slow grower. So I'm not sure how we're gonna do it. We're gonna run it the best we can. If we have to just cancel it, we will. But right now, I think the order of business today is to inject a nitrogen feeding into these 3 garden beds and really pump them up. So liquid nitrogen into these beds will immediately feed them and just push them to a little bit more growth. 2 weeks is a long time if you do it that way. If we put organic in, it will take a lot longer. The rest of these beds, so the potato bed, we may be harvesting at the end of May. I'm not sure. It's doing really good this year though. I'm extremely pleased with this. So we're gonna run that. This does not need any nitrogen. And then our squash beds, both of these beds, as you can see, are squash beds. They're doing really good. I don't know how much of these we will be harvesting in May, but we may be doing some towards the end of May. But what I do know is they do not need any more nitrogen. They're good to go. So we will give them another feeding of organic, well-balanced fertilizer, but nothing absolutely nitrogen heavy. And then coming down here to our carrot bed, we may be harvesting some carrots off and on. Not totally sure about that. So we're just gonna run it and see what happens. We'll be looking right around the middle of May. We'll start eyeballing them and seeing how they're doing. And then our garlic as well. And this bed actually afterwards is going to be probably our fall tomatoes. Right around, I'd say the middle of May, we're going to start taking cuttings from our tomatoes, our first set of tomatoes that we made. So we'll be making cuttings from those so we can have a fall planting. You can see we've got all of our plants here. This isn't all of them, this is just the first planting, but these are doing well and they are starting to give us some propagation types. We need to get these going more upright so we can see that, but you can see they are now putting in new growth. It's been about 2 weeks. So 2 weeks after we put it, that fertilizer you can see is starting to kick in. All of this light green growth is new growth. You can clearly see it right now. And so that's new growth that's coming from that feeding. And you can see on the peppers as well, we're starting to get more. So we need to stake these and we need to cage these. And then right around the middle of May, we will take our cuttings. I'll do a whole video about that because it's really important and it's a great way to make another fall planting of tomatoes. You don't have to start seeds or anything like that. Really easy to do, just take some time. So we want to have roughly a month of rooting time before we go in. So that means right around June, we should be putting them back in. And this bed right here is a good candidate because it does get a little bit more shade. So it'll stay a little bit cooler when it needs to. But other than that, everything is going in the right direction. Another thing too, depending on how things are growing, I seeded this on video. We did bean seeds and it's slow. It's now starting to warm up, so it should take off. Depending on how they are doing, we may end up putting bush beans in this bed as well. So we may do a crop of buckwheat, let it flower, let the bees get some nectar and pollen from it in due time, chop it really quick before it goes to seed, and then we may put a late crop of beans in there just to keep it going. Or we may do the opposite and do the beans first and then the cover crop. Either way, a cover crop is absolutely going to go in this bed because I really do think it needs it. As you get excited about growing and get everything going, it's important to plan for the next season and start working your way into that direction. So, you know, as far as our goal of harvesting in every single month, so far we're doing really good. The time is going to come and we're going to do more videos about that when it's not going to be great, but we'll just work through it. We'll take the abundance when we can get it and then we'll go from there. But what are you guys doing in May? You know, ladies and gentlemen, I would love to know, what are you planning to do in your garden in May? Are you still constructing? Are you planting? What are you harvesting? Let us know in the comments below. It helps everybody out. And if you could, throw what state you're in, because somebody in your state may not want to comment, but they're going to read and they need the help too.